responsibility. He's not anymore a leader.
The Shah, who demanded loyalty from everyone, was incapable of reciprocating it. And Hoveyda was thrown to the wolves to divert the panic. And I think this was a monstrous gesture on the part of the Shah.
As the court fell out, the crowds on the streets swelled to unbelievable proportions. On the feasts of Tasua and Ashura, the holiest dates in the Shiite calendar, crowds in Tehran are estimated to have reached 1.5 million. On January the 16th, 1979, the Shah and Queen Farah left Niavaran Palace for the last time and headed for the airport.
My husband left because he realized that if really people have been so much convinced that they are going to have a better life with another system, or a religious millennium has to occur, there was nothing he could do about it.
واقعا من میگم بدبخت بود. من دلم به بدبختی این سو. انصافا آدم بالاخره اینم یه موجودی بود. این انقدر بدبخت بود فکر کردش که این تو بمیرم از اون تو بمیریاس اینجوری بگم.
Like his father before him, the Shah was to die in exile. He wanted to settle in America or Britain, but his former allies did not dare offer him a home. He became an international nomad looking for a refuge, and all the time his cancer was getting worse. He ended up in Panama, where he gave his last full-scale interview.
You think that Mr. Khomeini, uneducated person, he could have planned all this, masterminded all this, set up all the organization? I know that one man alone could not have done it. This I know.
He was contemptuous of Khomeini's people. He couldn't believe that they could have done this themselves. He certainly didn't believe that his people had lost faith in him. This was a terrible thing for him to admit. And he wasn't not prepared to do that.
Threatened with extradition to Iran, the Shah left Panama for Egypt in March 1980. By then he had seen the return of Ayatollah Khomeini and the rapid capitulation of his army. As he lay dying in a hospital in Cairo, his father's mausoleum in Tehran was demolished. On the ruins of the Shah's great civilization, there now stood an Islamic republic.
He never complained. As if he has reached a level of wisdom and life that he was flying over the pettiness of life and treasons and injustices. And although he was really terribly, his heart was bleeding for what was happening in Iran, and times also questioning himself why, but he never complained.
He died on the 27th of July, 1980. President Sadat gave him a state funeral, but few of his former allies attended. Radio Tehran announced his death with the words, "The bloodsucker of the century is dead."
He was a powerful nationalist. He was, in his way, a revolutionary. He set about modernizing what was, in developmental terms, one of the most backward countries in the whole Middle East. And he got an awful long way down that road. He lost the race, but an awful lot of what he created is bound to survive. His greatest sin will be seen as this attempt to actually turn the people of Iran into something that they were not. He was trying to turn them into copies of Europeans and Americans. They did not want to be turned into something different. They are very traditional people. So they turned ultimately to their traditional leaders, the religious classes, in order to prevent this transformation which the Shah was trying to bring about. To me, it's a great tragedy that this man with such high hopes, and in a sense with such valid ambitions for his people, that he should have become so blinded to what was happening in his own country, to become so much the prisoner, really, of a personality for himself which he and his sycophants had created over the previous 25 years or so, that he came to such a tragic end.
I am dedicated to my country because this is the most beautiful thing that could happen. What could I take away with me when I go in the grave? Not even a dress, maybe just a piece of white cloth, that's all. So what I've got to take with me in the grave is history.